Hi, Chris. This is a test, just to see how it's going to work. That blank white thing, oh, there it is. That's my plane that I just painted up. It's loading very slow. That happens. Okay, let's see if I can get the checklists to work here.
Good afternoon, Captain.
Good afternoon, Ernie.
Yeah, before start doesn't seem to want to work. It's not hot, so I'm going to have to do the start by myself. So I'm going to close this. So as part of the start procedure, you have to count propeller blades, so I've got that window open. So let's see if we can make it work.
Yes, Captain. Just a moment.
Okay. All right. In theory, this should work. So we'll turn on the fuel pump, hit the starter and count blades.
Engine 2 is turning.
Mixture. And then the primer.
Engine 2 starting up. Oil pressure is coming up. Engine 2 stabilized.
And now we'll do the next engine.
Engine 1 turning. Engine 1 starting up.
And of course, the one thing I always forget, open the cowl flaps. So, there we go.
Engine 1 stabilized.
Now, this particular model is a beta, so some things don't work, so you have to use this panel to get everything to work. So I'm going to set my cowls on automatic. I'm going to set my takeoff trim, and I'm going to plug in my autopilot already. And I actually have a flight plan. I'm driving Kim crazy. close this and do the before taxi checklist.
Right, before taxi checklist, please. Before taxi checklist. Inverters, that's on. Avionics is on. Magnetos, right and left are both. Fuel pumps is off. Tail wheel, unlocked. Flaps, flaps are up. Mixture, auto rich. Before taxi checklist complete.
And so I have to now open my monitor again because it just occurred to me that my door is open. Chocks are set. There we go. Alright. Now I'm using my rudder pedals. So let's see if we can get this thing to taxi. So I have to steer by differential braking.
Engines are warm and ready.
Getting used to it, but it does take a bit of getting used to. Okay, so let's call up my checklist again.
All right, before takeoff checklist. Before takeoff checklist. Mixture, auto rich. Prop control, high RPM, trim, set and checked. Flaps, set and checked. Cowl flaps, set trail. Landing lights, both on. Pitot heat,
Of course, then I've got to find it.
on. Fuel pumps,
Don't know why my lazy co-pilot can't reach over and hit
before
that.
takeoff complete.
using a flight plan here. You can probably see it right there. I'm not using ATC, so we'll get the takeoff going and kick it onto autopilot. Switch on my monitor and kick in my autopilot.
Gear up and lock and go lights.
First thing I do is set my throttle here. Get my climb RPMs.
After takeoff checklist, please. After takeoff checklist. Landing gear. Gear up and lock and go lights. Flaps. Flaps retracted. Landing lights are off. Fuel pumps is off. After takeoff checklist complete.
So we're going to slowly climb to our 6,500 foot altitude, assuming I've remembered to set my altimeter, and we're on our way using standard instrument departure, believe it or not. Gonna set this for the London airport. So we're flying to CYXU for an approach on runway 33. In spite of the wind, that's the one London tends to use. Everything looks good. I'm just going to turn my monitor on here, and as you'll see, if any of my engine parameters here are wrong, they'll go red. So you can see my throttle's set to 60% for climb, ROC's 80%, so these are the climb, and I can get that just by hitting there. This puts my cowl flaps, my co-pilot will look after my cowl flaps, and here my co-pilot will look after my trim, except I'm on autopilot, so that's looking after my trim. None of the radios in the plane work, so you have to set these radios right here, and I am going to set, we'll be heading past Waterloo Regional Airport, so I'm going to log that in. And so now my NDB, which is this needle right here, is already picking up Waterloo. We're going to turn soon on our we're heading for VOR YYZ to pick up the low altitude airway. And now we're just going to cruise along. So there's my plane again. I painted this up myself. Quite a fight to get it to go, and we're going to turn onto our airway now and head over to the NDB at Kitchener Waterloo. So we'll go back in our cockpit. And of course you have to wait for everything to load. It's been really slow today. Since I put the rudder pedals on, I can't get this thing to go off. I'm going to go in and fix my config. See how my config works. So I'll get her up to altitude. I actually think I'm going to change it because of the cloud cover and bring it down to 4,500, which is nearly where we are. And then doing that, I'll put this on pause until we get closer to top of descent. It's a pretty boring flight. I'm just going to sit here. I don't have my hands on any controls. I don't have my feet on any controls. And we're just going to sit here and cruise along at some 160 knots. I'm just going to pull my throttle back to 30 down here, which is by the real world book 30 and 2250 on my prop. Call up my monitor and have a look. So my RPM's a little low at, so I need to bring that up a titch. There, that'll do. And I'm going to bring my air pressure down a bit. There we go. And that's cruise. So now we're just going to cruise along. I'm going to put this on pause. And I'll see you when we're at top of descent. Okay, we should be back if my pause button's working. We've just made our turn from waypoint Titos to waypoint Embro. So I'm going to start my descent fairly soon, as in now. I have 5 minutes to Embro. And I'm going to take 2,000 feet off my height. So it will take me 4 minutes to lose that 2,000 feet, and I want to be at that height by the time I reach Embro. So I'm now starting in my stars, believe it or not. Yeah, I'm using those. So this will route me through waypoint Embro and the NDB south of runway 33 at Yankee X-ray uniform, and right onto the runway, which I think is kind of cool. So here's my needle pointing at my NDB, and by the time I land it'll be right in front of me. Well, actually it'll be right behind me by the time I land. So this is kind of neat. And then as I get closer to Embro, I have to drop another 500 feet elevation's about 950 feet. It's a little higher than that. So I'll bring her in around about 2,000 feet. Give myself 1,500 above the deck, ballpark. And it makes for a nice approach when you do that. So as you can see from my altimeter, we've got 500 feet to go, and that will take me a minute, and I'll be pretty much at Emerald by that point in time, which is exactly where we want to be at 2,500 feet, and then we'll start configuring this baby to land. So this slow, I'm going to set my mixture to auto rich, and I'll probably leave it there. I think I just move it ahead to full to land. Now you can see we're leveling off. I'm going to pull back to about 2,500 there. 25, pardon me. We're going to lose some speed. So it's time to turn on my landing lights, and because I'm throttling back, I'm going to get my fuel pumps on. I'm below 154, so the prescribed technique now is you can drop your landing gear as soon as, so we're on our way to our next point, so I need to get down to 2,000 feet now, and then I'll look at lowering my landing gear. And the prescribed technique in this plane is that you drop your landing gear first, which you do at 154 knots or less, and then you apply flaps. Your first, there's the 401, we'll cross over. Anyway, you put on your first flaps to 1/4 at 125 knots. So as you can see, you need to bleed a lot of speed off, and this land gear provides an incredible amount of drag. So once we make that turn at the next waypoint, we'll drop the landing gear. That'll be in about a minute, and believe me, she'll slow down fast enough. there we are at 2,000 feet. You see we're losing speed. Now when I lower my gear, my co-pilot's going to check for 2 greens. What happens in the real world is either the pilot or the co-pilot will actually open this window here and stick his head out and take a look. I can't do that because, of course, I'm in the virtual cockpit and the landing gear aren't modeled in the virtual cockpit. So I can't actually do that, so I have to trust that the systems are working. Check my GPS and see I'm cheating. So we'll be at Kerpo any minute, and then we'll turn over and get ready to line up on the runway. So I could have left that descent a little later. I figure there's no harm getting down early. To me, it's better than getting down too late, which I tend to do. So there we go. And as soon as we finish banking this turn, we'll activate our landing gear and start slowing down.
Down. Gear down, green lights.
And there you can see the green lights. And as you can see, it makes a very effective air brake.
Flaps, 1/4.
So now I probably have to bring my manifold back up to 30. We want to make sure that we bring this down around about 85 knots. So I'm below 114 knots, so I can apply my second set of flaps, and as you see, we'll line up with final in about a minute. That message is there to tell me that I am inside airspace. go, turning on to final. So I'm now going to full advance my crop and my mixture. There you can see the airport right in front of me. I'm going to call down my checklist here. Get ready to do my before landing checklist. Get my feet on the rudder pedals.
Flaps.
So I'm good. If you can see from, I'm at 2,000 feet. I'm just below 100 knots. Flaps a half. And here we go. It's time to turn this off. Take over control and do my before
On
landing.
final, before landing checklist, please. Okay, before landing checklist. Mixture is checked. Prop control. High RPM, cowl flaps, set trail, fuel pumps, both on. Landing lights, checked on. Cabin signs, checked both on. Flaps, flaps are set and checked. Landing gear, gear down, green lights. Tail wheel, locked. Landing checklist complete. Flaps, 3/4. Flaps, full down. Slow.
This is where the rudder pedals come in nice because I'm in a crosswind here. So now I gotta get my checklist out and do my after landing.
Okay, after landing checklist, please. Okay, after landing checklist. Cowl flaps, full open. Flaps. 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 They're up. Flaps are confirmed up. Landing lights are off. Pitot heat checked off. Fuel pumps
Okay, so we'll just go off the runway there because I'm not looking out my window flat on. And I'm going too fast. Then I can't see where the heck I'm going, so I just gotta... My co-pilot is a very patient man. Good, and we're gonna... Okay. So now we gotta do our trim to keep our captain, our co-pilot happy.
Set to 0. Tail wheel unlocked. Well, that was a nice night. Complete. Very nice, Captain. And the shutdown checklist, please. Shutdown checklist. Mixture.
He never answers mixture. It's always in the wrong spot. So we'll go on to the
Next item, please. Magneto's and ignition master. Off. Tail wheel unlocked. Parking brake set and checked. Wheel chocks. Chocks are set. Lights. Checked. Inverters is off. Avionics off. Generators both off. Battery, that's off. Shutdown checklist complete.
And there you go. That's the flight. Using everything. And I hope you enjoyed it. And you can let me know what you think when you watch it, okay? We'll talk to you later. Bye.